All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening to you. It is the second round of the Perspective podcast for today. We started out at 7:30 in the morning, and now we're going to come on at 7:30 in the evening because I have a very special guest to share with you guys this evening. My friend, 11-year-old, just superhuman, Carly Tobin. So you guys may remember from last year. I had Carly on the show, and at the time, she had been diagnosed and was in the process of fighting cancer. And so I wanted to bring Carly back on so that all of you guys who watched the show last time could get a good update and hear it straight from Carly exactly what the process was like and get some inspiration from a girl who has inspired me so much. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, here we are. Welcome back. Welcome back, Carly.
Thank you for having me.
It is the pleasure is all mine. So we got some people popping on here. We got Keith Calloway Jr. on here, Mike Rosgoni, Tammy is in from Arizona, Dayton Packard. Good evening to all you guys, and thank you for being here. So for those of you who don't know Carly, I don't know how you couldn't, but for those of you who don't know Carly, I'm going to let Carly introduce herself real quick. Carly, tell everybody where you're from, a little bit about your family, your background, all that kind of stuff.
So my name is Carly. I'm from Natick, Massachusetts, and I have 4 people living in my house. You could say 5, including my very fuzzy, snuggly dog. But I love to dance. I love to play a bunch of different sports, soccer. Just dance is one of the things that I do basically every day of the week besides Wednesdays, and dance is a huge part of my life, and that's one of my one of my favorite things that I get to do. And I love to cook and spend time with friends and go outside and watch YouTube, do makeup, and just everything in general, really. I'm always looking into trying new things.
So Carly you are 11 now, correct?
Yes.
11 years old. And last year, right around June, correct?
Yes, correct.
This young lady started a fight against something that almost everybody is touched by in some way, shape, or form in their life, right? Everybody either knows someone who has had cancer or has someone in their family or has been impacted by someone with cancer in some way, shape, or form. But the reason that I had this little superhuman on the show the first time was because of how much she inspired me and how much I believe she inspired so many other people with just the way that you fought through it and had such grace in the process of going through what was obviously the most difficult time of your life. So why don't you kind of take everybody back through, the beginning of when you found out, and then kind of walk everybody through the process. It's a lengthy story, so we'll try to speed up through some parts, but I just want everybody to get like a 30,000 foot view of what that was like for you and kind of how things went going from last June to now September 2020 when you are cancer free. And how long have you known that you're cancer free?
Hold on. Okay. Probably about like 7 months?
7 months?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
That's been a good 7 months, huh?
Yeah, very good. Taking every day just as a blessing, because one of the thoughts that went through my head was, was I not going to be able to wake up tomorrow and say good morning to my family or be able to see my dog or anything like that. And it made me realize how thankful you have to be with every moment that you live because, life isn't always forever and you have to take it because one day it might just flash right out of your hands.
So, when you were obviously your parents were with you, when all of this started, and I remember, from our last conversation, you talking about just how important everybody in your family was to you to give you, inspiration and strength. And I think that, the most interesting part of that conversation is when I walked away. Um, what you were saying about everybody else is exactly how everybody else felt about you, right? So as you were going through and going through something that no one your age really should ever have to deal with, and doing it with such grace. What were the things that really stood out to you the most that helped you keep that level of perspective throughout this whole process, because it's a lengthy process? How long was it that you had treatment?
Um, it was 25 rounds of chemo and six rounds of radiation. So around like 12 months, maybe. I can't.
Yeah,
Long time ago.
a long time. And so what tell everybody, kind of what your support system looked like for that. Obviously your parents, but then beyond that, I know that you just touched on dance, and I know that that was a big piece of, you keeping your routine and sticking to your guns on what you wanted to do to still be able to enjoy each week or each day. So walk everybody through kind of what that process was like, and what you felt like being surrounded by your family and friends and having so much support.
So literally, it's like unexplainable how many people chipped in to either prep for meals for the next few months or my GoFundMe page, thank you, or be able to come take care of my dog while I was at treatment for a few days. And everyone was chiming in. It was just crazy. My dance team, I really can't explain how much they impacted my whole entire family. They would always check in. They would always make sure I'm doing well. They would talk with me during treatments, the long hours that I had at the Jimmy Fund and Boston Children's. And one other sweet thing that they did, I was in the hospital for a few days because my temperature and my platelets were super low and my temperature was really high. But they made a full-on garden in my backyard of just a bunch of prayer notes and stepping stones to this beautiful bench with a bunch of gifts and notes. And just people we didn't even know all around the world just sending gifts and things, wishing well and helping my family during this hard time. And I never thought that so many people would, even care to help me and my family during my cancer treatment.
It's a pretty cool feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool feeling. Being on the outside, as a person that knows your family and knows you, and you guys are special to me, but to be able to watch that from the outside it's a really inspiring thing to see how much good there is in the world. And I think that as you were going through that, and a lot of people on here are talking about just how much grace that you had. And I think it's just such an inspiration to see someone your age be so concerned about what you could do for others while you are going through such a difficult time. So Did you find that to be something that you were able to kind of get your mind off of what you were going through by, focusing on what you could do? Because that was something you were really focused on, was like how you could, tell your story and share your story so that, other kids that were going through what you were going through could have some hope and some inspiration during their fight, right? And I'm just curious as to what kind of drove you. Was it, a bit of the, if I do this, I could be distracted from all the weight of what I'm going through?
Yeah, so some of the things that I did to help other kids who are fighting like me, I went before the virus hit. I went on to the Red Sox. It was the broadcast. I can't.
The radio broadcast, right?
Yes. And just shared a bit of my story, like I'm doing now, and explained some of the things that just really got me through the tough times. And also, before everything happened, I went on the Jimmy Fund commercial page. I shot a commercial for 7 hours, finding little clips and bits and everything, and just doing a bunch of different crazy stuff behind set and behind all cameras. And thank you. And then it finally, after a couple of months, it finally posted, and it's on the Jimmy Fun page, and it's still all over TV, so keep an eye out. Just explaining a short clip of my story, me dancing, and just my family and I talking through what it was like having a child who had kidney cancer.
So one of the things that I noticed as you were going through all this is that your dad turned into quite a fighter himself.
Yes.
So what was your deal with your dad during this time? I think you may have played a part in him becoming a bit of a fighter, huh?
So right before I went into surgery, my dad looked down at me and he said, "When you get better, I'm gonna get better with you." And as I went into the operation room, I was like, "What does he mean?" And during my fight, he would go to the gym at the crack of dawn and have healthier meals and decide to eat more healthy. And it's really crazy to me because I feel like he did it for not only himself, but for me. And he truly is incredible and is still working out, he's still boxing, and he's planning on boxing next year for it's the oh my gosh. I'm like lost of words. Hold on.
It's to raise money, right?
Yes. Can I go grab the shirt for a minute?
Of course.
I have the shirt. Hold on. Okay, I'm going.
So while Carly is gone, it's an amazing story to watch, a family, just really be able to come together, and then a community come together to support, a family that's going through this. Because it's, certainly Carly was in for a pretty serious fight, but as you guys know, anybody that's been through any kind of battle with cancer, let alone a child with cancer, it is quite extensive how far it reaches and how far it impacts to do it. And so there's so many stories that came out of this particular situation, but her dad, wanting to do something really cool by making a commitment to her, and man, the transformation that your dad made was pretty amazing. So super proud of him, and it just proves that even when you get dealt really difficult things in life, that really great things can happen from it, right? If you maintain the right perspective. So I assume you came back with the shirt.
Yes. So what it is it's Haymakers for Hope, and it's to raise money for all different campaigns such as the Jimmy Fund, St. Jude's, all of the different cancer institutes, and on the back it says, hold on, okay.
Oh, here, I'll give you the full screen. Incredible.
To his weight and everything, but he's planning on fighting this upcoming year, and it's crazy to think he's doing everything, mostly everything for me. And as I went through chemo, every day I realized, wow, he's doing this, and he's doing this for me. And it showed me that not only my family cared, obviously a lot, but my dad really wanted to change, not only while I was going through a lot of different changes, such as my hair, such as different school, like what studying would be like, and just it's I'm saying so much about it, but it's just incredible, and my dad's a hero.
That's Lori, my wife, sending you a message there. So let me ask you this: out of all of the things that you experienced during this process, this lengthy process, give us one or two things that stuck out to you that are really special moments that are just kind of burned in. I know this is at times it's hard to not get emotional, so we'll bear with you. And if you get too choked up, we can move on. But I think it's important for other kids and for people to realize, that perspective during this time is like, there are incredible things that happen during these really difficult times, and I'm just curious as to what those things are for you. What really stood out as a couple things?
One of the huge things that really struck out was my Mimi unfortunately lost her battle to cancer, and I truly felt that God chose me to follow her path, but not lose it and win it for her. And it just felt like it was a message from heaven that my Mimi, she just told me that you have to go fight and you have to do this for me and yourself and your family. And it, it was just like an angel coming down from heaven letting me know that everything would be okay. And she's watching down happily, and she's just extremely proud, and I feel that every moment of my life that she's just always by my side even though I can't do it.
That's pretty amazing stuff. That is that gives me chills. Your mom and I have talked about that a few times, and I am a big believer. My grandmother was a very special person in my life, and there's nothing like knowing that you got somebody riding with you, right? That's always there to take care of you, and I'm glad that you came out of this situation, feeling just so much love and support, and never having to go through this feeling in any way, shape, or form alone. I'm sure that at times, it feels like you're the one battling. So I'm sure there's some loneliness to that part of it. But knowing that you have so much love and so much support, and so many messages, and so many people that love you, and so many people that you've inspired by the way that you have handled all this. And so before we got on the air, I asked Carly, I'm like, is that your real hair, right? Because every other time that we've talked, it's been you've been faking me out. So I was impressed. It's back, it's growing. You look beautiful. How do you feel?
It's definitely a process of struggling. I wake up one day and it's like a bird's nest. It always is a bird's nest, but
Oh,
it,
you mean your hair?
yes.
Oh, I mean, how do you feel in general, like health wise?
I feel
I mean, you can go on about your hair for sure. Go.
no. I feel great. I don't feel nauseous. A lot of foods I'm starting to enjoy again. And when I was at chemo, they had millions of different options for food and everything. But everything I saw there literally made me feel sick, like no matter what it was. So we would just always like bring food, and that's the food factor. But during chemo, I was dancing the whole entire time. I would tell my parents I'm not being late for one class, and I would always be there no matter if I was feeling like I wanted to lie in bed or I felt like I was being dizzy. It's just, you can't let a beast stop you from doing what you love and doing something that you did before the beast came and tried to destroy you. But you can't let something stop you no matter how hard it gets or how hard you feel. No matter if you want to go eat chips and watch Netflix, which is one of the many things that I did. But I was dancing the whole time, and I still am dancing. I started my new year yesterday, and I start dancing again tomorrow. And that's the dance part about it. And I'm just doing a bunch of things I couldn't do, going outside without having to put on a hat on my head or having to put on loads and loads of sunscreen, or being able to ride my bike without getting nauseous or tired or extremely, run down by everything. And it's truly a gift because when I was going through chemo, there was a lot of stuff, unfortunately, I couldn't do. And now it's just like I'm free falling. Like I can do anything that you put your mindset to.
So we have a question. Was your grandma a nurse, and had this journey influenced your life decisions about what you want to do when you're grown?
It is completely like that. My Mimi was a nurse at a nursing home. And while I was in the hospital, there were so many incredible nurses and doctors that it just made me feel like I want to be one of them one day. I want to help those kids who went through things like I was. I want to check their vitals at 2 a.m. I want to be there when they're not feeling well or be there for their family and be there for the child. And it's truly impacted my life. I either want to work in the doctor's industry in New York or I would like to be a model in New York.
You are an amazing little girl. So I believe that you met a really good friend that was one of your nurses while you were in the hospital.
Yeah, I
You want
did.
to give a shout out to your friend?
Caitlin Orlando. She did work at Boston Children's, and she moved into the Jimmy Fund industry, which is super cool. Um, She's like my second mom, basically. She would always check in on me even when she didn't have shifts or when she wasn't even working. And she was like an angel also sent down from heaven. I mean, all of the nurses at the hospital and everywhere were incredible, but Caitlin just really touched to home. And she is just amazing. And we've been keeping in touch during this hard time, and she is still working hard and still helping children. So shout out to Caitlin for really changing my life and my family's life and just helping me get through the dark times during my treatment and my surgery and all the times I went into the hospital. Ooh, sorry.
Say what's up? What's up, Daddy-O?
Hi, Dad. Oh, your profile picture is so bad of me. No. Please change that. No.
This is the mind of an 11-year-old live, right?
No.
I am just so impressed, and I want to stay on Caitlin for a minute because I remember having a conversation with your mom about really some tough days that you were having, and you had said to your mom that if you had never gotten cancer, you would have never gotten the opportunity to meet her, and that was something that I'll remember forever. I think that I'm a big person on just perspective, right? I think that you get to choose how you look at life. And for someone your age to be able to recognize that even through the toughest times, there are gifts that come along that will last a lifetime, right? You will have a friend in that person forever. And I think that is a lesson for everybody that watches this, whether they're watching live or watching a replay, that you really do. You don't get to choose what hand is dealt to you in life all the time, but you do get to choose your response to it. And from a person that is very inspired by people that are able to maintain perspective, I thank you for sharing your story, for being part of my life, for coming on here twice. In telling your story, once while you were in the midst of going through all of this stuff, and then being willing to come back. And just know this, that whatever it is that you want to tackle in life, whether it's raising money for kids or helping kids or doing something to make this world a better place, you definitely got a teammate right here in me. And I'll bring all the people that I know and all the people that they know, and we'll do whatever it is that Carly wants to accomplish. Deal?
Deal.
So anything that you want to leave everybody with? Any final words? I know you have some.
If anyone has any questions, that's my first thing. But second off,
see, there's people offering to help already.
one second, I'm sorry.
She's getting coached.
So one of the things that I wanted to share is last year I participated in the Jimmy Fund Walk, and my family and I were wondering, Brian, if you wanted to maybe join us in our walk this year and raise money for other kids at the Jimmy Fund.
1,000%. I'll be there. When is it?
Due to the virus, we're not completely sure, but I think maybe late October is the due date right now.
Done deal.
But
sign me up.
But if anyone else wants to walk or just help out and raise money for other kids who are fighting for their lives like I was, did you hear my mother yell?
I can hear the dog, yeah.
October 4th is the Jimmy Fund Walk due date right now. And the one thing
She said October 4th.
Yes.
We will figure that out for sure.
But just, I said this last time, but now I have a way bigger perspective of it. Going back to when I first found out I was diagnosed, like going through a 10-year-old's mind, thinking, oh my gosh, I have cancer. It's one of the biggest words someone can imagine in their it really hit me.
Are losing Carly.
It was crazy, but the more I had chemo and the more I saw
We're losing Carly. Let's see if she comes back on. We'll give her a minute here. Oh, Is she back? There she is. All right, you're good. You're back.
All right, I'm going to head downstairs because the Wi-Fi in the office is not the best. Okay.
Oh,
Not the best. Okay. Okay. So here's my dog on the blanket. But anyway.
she is. There you are.
Yes.
All good.
So what I was saying was, I had a lot more respect and really woke up to all of those kids who are at a higher risk of losing their battle or not the best treatment plan. And that really made me change the way I look at everything. I don't have any words, but it really turned around and made me look and say, hey, you're lucky that you have a really good treatment plan and a really good risk of beating what you're going through. And a lot of kids didn't. And that helped me realize that you have to take every day as a gift, because one day you're going to wake up and it may be the last day on earth. You never can know, and you never can be positive about it. And it's just, wow. Okay. What I'm trying to spit out is that life takes a lot of different turns while you're on the road, and you have to go with it. There's going to be times where you feel lonely and you're struggling and trying to climb back up the mountain. But I promise you, one day you will reach the top. Hello. And you will accomplish what you're trying to get through and what you're trying to do in life. And you'll realize once you're at the top of the mountain looking at the view that it's life, and you're going to really realize that I did that. I beat that. I inspired others. I helped millions, maybe. And that's really all I have to say to wrap it up. It's just keep fighting, never give up, and be kind, be brave, and be strong. And most of all, be Carly strong.
Amen. Amen to that. My dear, it is always a pleasure to get to spend time with you. I think you made a whole lot of new friends tonight. You get to go through the comments, check it all out. But there's a lot of people, and I'm going to try to drag a bunch of people up to Boston with me to do this walk. And it will be an honor and a privilege to get to do it. My man, what's happening, brother? There he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
Definitely a myth. That's about it.
A legend in the making, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you this, man. I'll volunteer to do the walk, but I'm not volunteering to get in the ring with you, man.
But you still, all you got to do is just keep moving around. The cardio, not quite there yet.
There we go. So, well, Carly, I appreciate you being here tonight. I know that everybody else appreciates you being here. Everybody, you can't not be inspired by your story.
Thank you for having me.
I know that everybody wishes you nothing but the happiest of the rest of 2020 and beyond, and certainly a life of health going forward. And I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of you for just the poise that you have. Like the Wi-Fi goes bad and you're still able to answer questions and keep your head about you. It's just amazing at 11 years old what you're able to do. So I know people that are grown adults that do these types of interviews, they can't handle that. So you should be proud of what you accomplished. You should look back from that mountain and look and say, I did that and I inspired millions, and you will continue to. And I would encourage you to share your story and never stop speaking from your heart, never stop telling people how you feel, because there's something special inside of you that needs to be shared with the world. So
That
I
means
love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your story again. And I guess I will see you soon.
yes,
This walk is right around the corner. So I will be seeing you in person soon. It'll be my privilege. And I got some friends up in Boston that I'm going to recruit to do this for sure. And if anybody from Pittsburgh wants to take the trip with us, let me know. I got a little tribe of my own here that I'll be bringing with me. So that's a lot of people just in the Hest family. So, but I will see you guys soon. Again, thank you for being here, and for everybody watching, thank you guys for hanging in with us and for sticking with us here for 37 minutes. And for those of you who join us every single morning, I will see you again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Same place, different time this time. But I will see you in the morning for Morning Perspective. I love you guys. See you in the morning.
Thank you so much, Brian.